Hey guys, welcome back to this next episode, and I would like to continue with saving the game. So we do need some kind of UI where we have a button like save game and exit, but we also need to finish our save game blueprint because we are not really done yet. Before we actually create our widget blueprint, in order to press save and exit, we need to finish our blueprint save game. So let me just open the blueprint save game just to see what's going on. Also, when we save and we just start the game with our save game, so basically we just restarting the game with our save slot. So if there's a slot available for us, I don't want to stand here, I want to stand here. This is optional, you don't need to do that, but I think, it's just better to get our location here. So what we need to do, we prepare this, so we just open up our blueprint save game, and let's get a vector, and we call this player location. Okay, so just make sure that you have this as well. And then let's just open up the AC inventory, so RE character. You can just open up the RE character, and from there we can just right click on AC inventory and then edit AC inventory. So this is what we have since our previous episode, but we are just opening our camera. We're just switching our camera and we're just disabling our input, and then we just teleport ourselves up 1000 units, so we're not blocking our view to our typewriter. So this is basically the logic. Let me just organize, and then I want this here. So once we overlap with our blueprint typewriter, with our box collision, we do know that save game is true and this is valid. Once we end overlap, so we just leave the box collision, then we can't save anymore and the typewriter is empty. It's not valid anymore. This means when we press spacebar, so interaction is our button spacebar, we just assigned the spacebar to interaction, then we make a check here. Before we press this button, we're not using a door, so we're not colliding with our door, we're not colliding with the storage, but if we are colliding with our typewriter, so this would be the third check, then it's true. Let's see, so save game, yes, you can see, yes, it's true. So only under the condition when we are standing in front of the typewriter, when we collide, this is true. This is the only time this could be true. Then we go one step further, and we know our character is valid, so this is the information we get from our AC, and the PP typewriter is also valid, because when we overlap, we fill the typewriter, the variable, with this particular blueprint, which is self. This means those two things are valid, and then they are connected. And then we can see this function fires off, and let me just show you again. I can just collide now and then press spacebar, and our input is disabled. So nothing's going to happen. So we want to have a widget blueprint. Before we create our widget blueprint to actually navigate inside a so-called UI, I would like to finish this huge event. It's really huge, but it's all the same stuff. Okay, it's just a chain of information we need to have. So what's currently missing in order to really save? This is just a save game object. This means there's a file which will be saved in your project, in your save game folder, basically, once we fire this off. This is basically what this node is doing. It's just creating a save game object inside your project folder. And you can also just search for the save game folder inside your project, and then you will have this. And we decide we want to fill our data, which we have from our AC, into the variable, into our BP save game. So this one is this. This one, head weapon. Where's the head of this one? And so on and so forth. And we just do this for every single thing. So just remind yourself, those variables are set variables, okay, from the BP save game here, and we always get. Those are the get variables from here on the bottom left hand side. We fill those things. So we fill our data, so our progress during the game, which is inside our AC inventory, and we just transfer those things, this data, into the BP save game. Okay, but this is not really enough, because we need to add something, and this is called save game 2 slot. So we actually need a slot. So an Unreal Engine needs to search for a specific save game slot, and we call this one save game. It's just save game, and he's looking for the save game object. This means we can just, this is the save game object, we can just right click and promote this one to a variable, and then this variable we can connect, or we can just simply drag from here, which is maybe easier for you to understand, and we can just hook it up. Okay, this is pretty important. We want to save our player location, right? So our player location is inside our character. So we get the character here from our AC, and then we say get actor location Okay, so this one is valid. And then let's not forget that we teleport her 1,000 units up, right? So this is basically the position once we overlap and once we interact with the typewriter. In order to get our position back once we saved, we need to do minus 1,000. Okay, this is pretty important. So this means once we save the game, once we click on save, and when we are going back to our game, we will just have this location. So our original location, we will just stay in front of our typewriter. Good. So you remember when we drag from here, we set player location. This is the one we just added. And this one is the right variable because this is also a vector, since our player location, actor location is a vector. So now hopefully you understand how you can basically fill any data you need. You just need to find the right variable for that. So we basically save the position, the exact position when we stand in front of our typewriter. This is the position we are going to save into this specific slot. So now, unfortunately, we have to do one more thing. We need to have an event called load. So once we save, we also, on the other hand, need a custom event to access this specific file which we save on our hard drive or in our Unreal Engine projects folder. So this one is called E for event load save game. So we just want to access this once we start. In this case, we need to check, does a save game exist? And then he's asking, is there a slot? Yes, the slot is called save game. Just like we named this one over here. Save game. Make sure this is exactly the same. So we are looking for this specific slot. And then just press B and click, because we need to check this one. So if this is true, if there is a file with this slot name, then we want to load game from slot. Makes sense. And this one is also called the save game, because this is the one we want to access once we start our game initially. And then drag from here. This time we need to cast to BP save game, because we need to access our save game blueprint. Because once we start the game, there is no valid information, no character loaded, nothing's loaded. But our save game is a file, as I told you, on the hard drive, and this is what we want to access first when we start the game. So we have all the information, and then our world, our character, and items, everything will be loaded. So from here we have data inside because we saved before, right? So now, unfortunately, you need to get all those variables from the save game. So of course I will obviously just speed this one up. So, but let me just show you. Get inventory, and then we want to get held weapon. Okay, always from the save game here, get. So from the save game event, we always from here set. Okay, from here we always set inventory, and from the AC then we connect the get inventory. And in this load save game, this time it's the other way around, because we want to access. So get empty storage slot index, and then this one, get is hammer in inventory, and then we need, let me just continue from there, health, get health. So get locked doors and get unlocked doors. Then the boolean, get injured and get player location. We don't need to do this one because we already fixed this, right? So we don't need to fix our because we teleport our character, I told you before, so we can see the typewriter. But we just did that when we saved. We get the location and we just do the minus 1,000 units. So we are in our exact location when we start the game. So we can just get this information here. So it's already fixed. Okay. So yeah, this is so what we can do now. We set all those variables again. So yeah, I know it's quite a tedious process, yes, I understand. But we have to do it. And it's easy to understand. So let's get this one. So let's put it here so we can see actually what's going on. And then we do stuff like this. Let's just align them step by step. And then we can just set the held weapon. So this is how we transfer the information from our save game file to our back to our AC, and we're good to go. So storage, empty storage slot index. So we set the information with this one. So I don't really mind to straighten everything now. Let's just connect all those variables first. We have the hammer. Then we set the health back to our AC. Then is the pistol in inventory? We don't know. Maybe it is, maybe not. Is the revolver in inventory? Maybe, maybe not. And also for the shotgun. Then we need the item identifier. So this will be obviously in the inventory category. So we set the item identifier. Then we set the keys array, which should be here. And please do all categories, so it's organized. And then we have level, which would be in the door, I believe. Set level. This is also something we need to set up for the safe room, so we can transition from our third person default map into our safe room. This is where you put in your level name, which is also connected to your player start tag. Storage slots. Then we have the pistol stuff. Yeah, in magazine. Then in storage. And also picked up. And we have pistol bullets stored and pistol empty. This one, magazine into magazine, bullet storage into bullet storage. Pistol bullets picked up is pistol bullets picked up. Pistol bullets stored is pistol bullets stored. If it's the pistol, if it's empty, we check if it's empty, yes or no. And we continue with the revolver. So set this one magazine to magazine. Storage. So revolver and storage. Injured. Play attributes. Yeah. And we want to get our player location. So, makes sense to get this one. No, we don't need that. Doesn't make any sense. So the reason why we don't need the player location here is because we have our character. From the character, we set actor location. This is the one we need. So this, you can see, is a little different. But once we load, we just want to have our character, which is the target, to this location we saved. And we save this. And we save this information over here. We get the character, the current location when we save, which is in front of our typewriter, but we need to decrease by 1,000 units just to have it, because we increased our units by 1,000 here, just to teleport her, so we can see the typewriter. So this is basically how we can fix this, and then we have the exact same location, which is in front of our typewriter. Good. And then compile and save. So now here's the funny thing. This event, load save game, we will cast this in our game instance, and this game instance has an event called init. This event is similar to begin play. The only difference is this is only firing once we start the game. So when we transition from level to level, this one is not triggered. It's only triggered once we press play. And this is exactly what we need. Okay, so we will just, let me delete this, we will just set it up later. Now, once we load our game, when we press start, this whole thing is affected. Okay, so once we press start, this event is searching for the save game. Yes, there is a slot, and this slot is this one. Then we need to cast to our BB game instance to access all the data, which we saved here before. Then our AC has been refilled, basically. But at the same time, we need to create a macro. And this macro, let's call this one transfer data to game instance. And I know, now you're freaking out, right? Yes, I would also freak out. if I were you, but we unfortunately need to put everything we saved when we start the game. We need to put this one also into the game instance. So get the save game. Okay, you can, sorry for that, let's just compile. You can also just open this one and then input, and we need the BP save game as an object reference. And this is the save game object. Okay, so this is our blueprint for the save game. Now we need to get this one and put it inside here. Then open this one up, and we also need an execute and drag it up. And this one is called call it load. We don't need an output. Now, since our save game is connected to our macro, let's just fix that here. Okay, yeah, we can straighten the blue line if you want, but I don't really care now. But now what we have to do again, we go inside here, then we get game instance, from there cast to BP game instance. We did forget one thing, right? We did forget the current weapon, right? Yes, in fact, sorry for that. Let's go to the event save game, because we did forget the set current weapon. So when we save, we also need to set the current weapon. And then from there, we get. And then this is also what we need to do here. So this time when we load, we get current weapon, and then we set current weapon. Good. Now, we need all those variables again. Get inventory, we get health, we get pistol pickup, we get pistol magazine, get locked doors, get unlocked doors, get the little name, get the held weapon, and finally we're coming to an end. Max pickup slots, get max pickup slots, get injured, and finally get player location. So yeah, congratulations. We are almost finally done. Let's say one last step until we can use the save event and the load event, which is pretty easy to set up. But last step, we set inventory, we set health, okay, compile and save. Oh, we forgot those. Yeah, sorry for that. So keys. We forgot the keys, sorry. And the item identifier. And the storage. So where's the storage? Here. This one. Storage. Storage. Compile. Save. So now let me just show you again, step by step, okay? Let me show you again step by step so you understand. When we're standing in front of the typewriter, we want to trigger this. This means our save game is getting, this is from our save game, the variables. We are getting all the information we have during the game, which is stored here inside our AC inventory. Those are our variables from our AC. So we get those, and we connect this one with the set variables. This ensures us that our save game object now has all data, basically, including location, saved to our save game slot, which is called save game. Then, when we close the game and you restart your game and you want to continue, this one will be fired. I will just show you where to put it. He's going to check for the save game. Yes, then we load. When we load the save game, we need to cast to our file, to our save game file, which is stored in our Unreal Engine project. From there, we get all the information from the save game, because we did them, saved them here before. So they have data. And then we just put them back into our AC. But this is not enough. We also want to make sure 100% that this, at the same time, after we did that, we also want to put all the data from our save game object. So we're just repeating this. We also want to cast them to our game instance. So our game instance has all the stuff as well. Just like the AC. Okay? And congratulations, when you did all that, you are pretty brutal. Good. Now we prepared everything. We only need to use the 2 events. And this is it. Then we can check for bugs, just in case something's not working. But those 2 events are finally done. Before we can use the save, and then when we load, we need to set up a widget blueprint. So now we can just leave this, because this is done and we saved everything. So we can just close this chapter for now. And we just do one more thing, which is when we collide with this box, okay, we want to trigger a widget blueprint. So we go into our save game. So we collide with the blueprint typewriter, which is this one here, the box. Let's inside here save game. Let's create a user interface, widget blueprint. Click on user widget. We call this one WB typewriter. You can also call it save game. Yeah, let's call it PP save game. WB underscore save game. When you open this one up, get a canvas panel, drag it inside, click on this. Just make sure that you drag this one and snap it to 4K, just to make sure. Then we get a button, just a button, into the canvas. This button is a variable, this button is focusable, and we call this button save button. Inside this save button, we want to have an image. Drag this image inside, click on this, and the image is called save image. Doesn't matter, we don't need this to be a variable, doesn't really matter, it's just for optics. Now, we want to have an image. So let me just create a folder, and we call this one image, inside our save game. Let me open this one up. Below I have a save button, a load button, and an exit button. So I have 3 PNG files, exit, load, and save. But for now we just need save and exit. Make sure that we drag and click, right click, asset actions, edit selection property matrix. Let's just level of detail. This is what we also need, UI, okay? Texture group, level of detail, texture group, UI, save. Now we can get this one into our save image. We get the save button here. Now when we click on the save button, this one is now part of the save button. So we can just click on the save button. Let's anchor this to the center here. And then you can just position this one. Let's try 0 and 0. And size, let's see the size. Maybe. So let's just see it. Roughly, let's do 330. The save image, we need this to zero out this one. And you need to go fill and save button. We wanna in style this one, and this one is also 0. Now the button, click on the button, background color is 0. Okay. Now I want to have this centered. Let me get the button and do the alignment of the button 0.5 on X and on Y 0.5. Now this is perfectly straight. And then I want to put the button, so when we see the typewriter here, so here is basically the typewriter, I want to have the save here, down here. Looks better. So you just get the position Y. Let's do 200. Let's do 300. Yeah, let's do 300. Now you can just click on this button and Control D. Okay, now we have it here. Our initial button has a position of 300. So this one, the button here, is position X is also 0. And then position Y, let's do 360. And this button is called exit button. And this image is called exit image. And the button is called, we load the button, exit button. And then compile and save. Good. Now we want to highlight them and we want to have sound, like a click sound. So click on the save button. We have a pressed sound. So when we press it, I have a sound for that when we save. So let's do another folder called SFX. So we just load the stuff we have for our typewriter here. Okay, and we don't need a cue, I believe. No, it's just UI sounds. We don't need a cue. So we can just, on the save button here, click on the save button. Pressed is the typewriter interact. So this one. Oh no, this is the wrong one, sorry. Save, this one. Good. Get this one when we press save. And when we hover, we want to have this one. And also, on exit, hovered, we want to have the same, this. But for pressed, let's do inventory. I have something like leave inventory. Leave inventory. Yeah, this. Good. Now, we need to highlight them. So what I can do, maybe it's going to look good. If not, we are not using it. On our button, we have something called onHovered. And then, at the same time, let's do also, on this save button, unhovered. And we don't need this. Now, for the save button, we get the save button, and we set background color. So when we hover with our save button, we set the background color here, promote a variable, and call this one hover color. The hover color, compile, here, let's highlight it, so we do 1, 1, 1, and the alpha is 0.2, so we have just a little bit of it, of that. Compile and save. And then let's just copy this node and connect this one as well. But this time when we leave this button unhovered, so when we just leave with the mouse, we promote this one to a variable and call it unhover color. And the unhover color is pretty simple. You just leave it transparent. Okay, you just leave it. Good. The same thing we do with the exit button. But before I do this with the exit button, yeah, let's just do this for the exit button. Sorry for that, I was just thinking hovered, of course, and unhovered. And then we can just copy those things because it's the same stuff. But this time, this is the exit button. This one. Makes sense. But now we actually need to see it, right? We need to see it. So before we save, so what we need to do later, we have the save button here, and we need to have an event on clicked. So when we click it, let's do press, okay? So we have a press sound. So when we use the event on pressed, just click on it, but we leave it for now, okay? We just know. Let's mark this, press C. Here we save game, okay? Compile and save. And then exit on pressed, event on pressed, mark C, here we exit. Pretty simple stuff. Compile and save. But we actually need to see this widget, okay? We want to see this widget in front. So we need to do a function inside our AC. Before we do this, let's blur, type in blur, just get a background blur, put this one into the canvas, and then put this one up here, between canvas and save. And then you go to center, and then let's do 0, 0, and size is 1920 by 1080. Alignment is 0.5 by 0.5. And then you can also make sure to drag it to 4K. Okay? Just to make sure. Compile and save. Now, I cannot talk today. The background blur. You have, when you click on this, you have a blur strength. Put this one to 4. maybe 3. Let's do 3, just a tiny amount, or like a, not tiny, but just a small amount of blur. And then we want to use this one, okay? So what we need to do, let's think pretty simple here. Let's think logically. We have, wait, I want to delete this. So when we are with our character, interact, okay, and then we go to the typewriter, and we do know that we are interacting with the typewriter now. We go to save game, we switch to the camera. This is what we did in the previous episode. And now let's do a function, but inside here, inside the AC. So we do create here a function. We call this one f save game. Let's maybe call it different. F show save game UI. Okay. So before we do this, we know that our input is disabled, right? So let me just close this one, and this one, so we can focus on this function. So what we need is, we need to create widget. We need to create the WB save game. Okay, we promote this one to a variable, and we call this one BP save game. And then we put this one into the save game category. And then we add to viewport, and we add this one to the viewport. At the same time, we want to enable input get player controller. From here we need to go back to enabling our input, which is the player controller, right? So switch this one, and the target is this. Let me just think for a minute. Sorry, this is the character. So the controller is with our character. Straighten, and let's put it like so. But we are not really done yet. We want to show mouse cursor. Set show mouse cursor. Yes. Let me just do it like so. So it looks better. So we get player controller. Then we enable our input with our character, so we can use the mouse, we show the mouse. And from here as well, input to UI. Set input mode UI only. Okay. Hook this one up. And the widget to focus is our save game widget blueprint. And this one is not BP save game, this is pretty stupid, sorry for that. This is WB save game. Alright, let's straighten this. Now this looks good. Okay, let's just see. The only player is player controller. So this means when we go back to our grab item, so we interact, we go to the typewriter, we collide, and then we save. We switch to the camera, and then we also want to show the save game UI. And the target is self, because this is a function inside our AC inventory, so save is fine. Self is fine. Okay, let's just see what we need to fix. Okay, this is working. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, so now we want to save, right? Let's just remove this text. This one. So here we want to save. We do know that we enable the input, right? We enable the input to our widget. So we put this widget to focus, which is our save game. This means that our input is automatically already enabled inside here. Then we can just click on the plus here, get the BPRE character as an object, and call this one a character, and then do expose on spawn, and then compile. And also instance is editable. Yes, we also need to do that, sorry for that. And then you go to the AC, on this widget, you click refresh. Now we have the character here. Now we get the character from our variable character and just hook this one up, like so. Straighten this, boom. Also, let's do like so. Compile and save. When we go back to our save game, we can now get this character because now this has data. Because we just hooked our valid character information, so our character blueprint, we just hook this one up to our WB save game, which is here. Now this one is connected, and then we can just get AC inventory, okay, and then F save, it's event E save game, because when we press the save button, we want to save the game. Okay, this is everything we need to do. On exit, we want to basically exit. So let's just get this. And let me just think for a minute. Let's do a function inside the AC. Okay, so let's do another function just to hide. So F hide, or let's just call it remove save game UI. Okay. So what we want to remove is remove all widgets. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. We only have this one. So then we go to our WB save game. F remove save game UI. Compile and save. And let's save everything. Now let's press play. Let's see. So we can hover and we can save. Let me just open up my project now on my second monitor. RE course, content. Not content. Let me just show you. This is our folder, and now we have a save folder, save games, and this is what we created. This one. I can just delete this, the save room, because this is what I tried yesterday. So this is our save game. Okay, 16th of August. Good. And then let's try exit. Okay, so we just removed the widget, but we need to go back to our camera position, right? So I'm thinking it should be, I think we should set this one up. So remove save game UI. We can do this inside here, right? Save game. We can close the save game macro. So we have this function. Switch to typewriter. Why don't we just So we need a new target. Okay, we need a new target, okay? And the new target would be this camera. This camera should be the new target. Sorry for that. This is our camera, right? No. This is our camera. This is the camera. So this is our default camera when we enter the room. Once we go here, this is our camera. So this should be our safe camera when we are going back. So let's get this camera. Let's make a tag. And we call this one. Let's call this. Let's give it a tag. Typewriter. Just typewriter. Now, we do know that this is our blueprint BP camera, right? So what we need to do, we need to set view target with blend inside our AC. So we show save game UI, okay. Let's do another function. And we call this one F switch to typewriter camera. But this is confusing, right? Because we have a typewriter camera. Wait, we have already. This is a typewriter camera. This is confusing, so maybe we should name this differently. Let's call this one exit camera. No, wait. We call this one exit underscore typewriter. Exit save game. Sorry for that. Exit underscore save game. And this function is called F exit save game camera. Now this makes more sense. So we want to get, in this case, let's just cast to BP. No, we don't need to cast. I'm not really sure at this point. Let's just get the BP camera. Let's just check if maybe we need to cast. I'm not sure. BP camera. Not the trigger, this one. Let's just try. Switch. Switch blend. How's it called? I forgot this. Not switch. Set view target with blend. Set view target with blend. So this is the new view target. Then we just get it here. Then we get player controller. But enable this because we need this. So we get this one. Like so. Then we want to enable input. We don't need to enable the input because it's already enabled. But we need to show mouse cursor, to leave it like so because it's false. Because we want to hide the mouse cursor. And set game mode, input mode to game only. Back to game. And then get your character, get actor location. Yeah, let's do like so. Get the add node, and we need to do this also -1000. So we are back she's back to its original position. And then from there, set actor location. Get actor. No, why is it not working? Actor. I'm stupid. Compile. Set actor. Okay, just disable. Sorry for that. Set actor location. So, and the target is the character, of course. Okay, let's just do like so. Compile and save and... Okay, so I'm not sure if this is going to work with the camera. If not, we need to cast. Let me try. Let me just try. Get in keyboard F. And get the AC. And get PP camera. Not NP. Get PP camera. Let's print. So this is just a quick way, just to see in advance, if we can display this camera. No, we can't. Okay. So this is not going to work. No. I have a different idea. I'm just brainstorming here, sorry. We can make it smart. Let's open up the BP camera. And then let's open up the trigger. Yeah, so we overlap. Okay, this is pretty clever. So we always overlap. So every time we overlap, okay, in this case, when we overlap here, we do know here, this is camera 2. And camera 2 is this camera. Yeah, and this is the right camera. Because when we are here, we save, and this camera should be affected again, so when we exit, we want to have this cue. Once we overlap with this box camera trigger, okay, here, this is the camera trigger. Once we overlap, we cast to RE character, and then we have the BP camera. So, we can just now get BP camera. First we need to get AC inventory, and from there, get BP camera. So I was just pretty stupid. And then sorry, not get, sorry. From the AC, we need to set BP camera. Because this is not valid, right? We do know that we don't have any information. But now we do have information, because this one is the camera. Okay. Good, I think this is fine. So let's try this again. If we just get keyboard F, and we get the AC, and we want to get BP camera, and we want to print. We want to print the camera when we press F. Now it should work. Yes. Now we have. So now we are good to go. This means this one has no data once we overlap with the box. So we do know that this is going to work 100%. So we set the view when we exit the safe game camera. We hide the mouse cursor. We set the input mode back to game only. And we set our actor location back to its original position. And then let's just go back here. Let me just close everything so we can just see what's going on. So we do know we overlap, and then we go to save game. Then we switch to this specific camera, to the typewriter camera, and we disable our input, and we teleport ourselves, so we are not blocking the camera. And then we show the UI, the widget blueprint. So I have just demonstrated to you that this is working. Then we enable the input for input UI only, so we can only navigate with our mouse cursor in our widget to focus. So this one is focused. Then, let me close this. Then, so when we show this one, and when we press exit, okay, so we need to go to the button, and the button is inside the widget blueprint save game. So when we exit on pressed, we remove save game UI. Okay? So we remove our widgets, then we exit. So let's get this function too. Then we exit. Save everything. So first of all, our save and exit UI has been removed when we press exit, and then we find the camera. This is the last camera we overlapped with. Okay, so this is exactly the camera we need, and this means that we don't need to use a tag. Well, so we don't need it. We can make it also with a tag if you want to make sure, but in this case we don't need it because we always use the last overlapped camera, and this would be always the camera we collided with or overlapped with last time. So this is perfectly fine for us. And then we hide the mouse cursor. We set the input mode to get back to game only, and we get back our actor location, which is now again like so. So let's try. Now we can save, and then let's see documents. R equals save game, and this is the save has just been created. I can see this has just been created, and we can exit. Okay, so what you can see now is that we are back to the camera, but let me try something. Okay, we do know this is working. I think this has something to do with the actor location. Let's just disable this for now. Into this function, let's just disable the teleportation, and then this one. Right? Sorry. Let me just clean up, and let's just disable this one as well. So now we are blocking the view, but yeah, this is the reason. Okay, so the function is correct. The function is working, but we should do maybe -100. Let's just try. This is because the collision. She's like, we are teleporting too much, and then she's completely out of the room, and then she's like flying around. This is the reason. It has to do something with the collision. But what we can do, let's just disable. Let's just... No. We don't need that. What we can do, you can also just disable the collision from the ceiling, but then you have to also maybe consider to disable the collision for ventilation, so that you're not colliding with anything. But we can just make this more simple. Let's do the y-axis. You can see here. Let's just do -200. We need to play around with those values. Okay, and then let's do 200 here. So let's do 200 here on the switch to typewriter. And when we go back, when we exit, we do minus 200. Okay, let's just hook this up. So we just need to play around with those values here. So this is hooked up, okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Minus 100. This is exactly what I want. So here, minus 100 on the y-axis. Let's try here, plus 100. When we exit. Yep. Now this is going to work. So we can go here. We can just get to the UI. Looks good. It's blurred a little bit. We can just save. Now a completely new save game has been created. We can just exit, and we can exit the game. So let's just try if this is going to work. So we have a save game now. All right, when we press save, we have a save game. But when we start the game, we need to go into our game instance, and we need to have event init. So this event is only firing once, only when we press play. So during the whole game, you can switch to 20 different levels, 100,000 different levels. This is only triggered when we press play, and this is exactly what we want. So we do want, let me just. So what we do want is a small delay of 0.1. Is fine. We need that because we need to make sure. We need to make sure that our actor is loaded into our world. This is why we need to have a small delay. Then we cast to our BP character, and we get the player character. This is pretty simple. And then from there, we get our information from our AC inventory. And then we get the event load save game. Compile and save. So obviously this is going to have maybe a couple of bugs. So maybe like something is missing here, maybe something is switched up. So yeah, maybe this is going to have a couple of bugs, but we just want to know if this is going to work. So when we press play, we cast to our character and we get the information from our character inside the AC, which is this event. This one is inside our AC. So we get this file, we do have it now. We load it. So this is our information we save. This is all the information we have. And we put it back to our AC. And then after we put it back to our AC, we also make sure that we transfer this back to the game instance. Okay, so all those information we have from our save game, we cast this one to the game instance. And we set all the variables. Those are all the variables from our game instance, and they are getting a refill, like they are also getting updated with those saved values. So we just make sure that our game instance has the same information, the same data like we have for our AC, just to make sure. Okay, and then when we see begin play in our ARI character, the begin play is the event which will trigger every time we switch a level. So every time, so when we press start, this will also fire. So first, the game instance will load our save game, and then, so this, sorry for that. First, AC inventory and the character, everything gets loaded, and we load the character. So, but this is not really important when we start the game, because our game instance is empty. When we start the game, this is empty. Okay? This is the reason why when this is getting fired, just directly after that, we have, after a small delay, we load the save game. Okay? And this means, as I told you before, that our game instance is getting updated anyway. Okay? So this one is basically not really affected when we start the game. Okay? This is only affected when we transition to a different level. And then we update locked doors, unlocked doors. We can update even when we start the game. We can also just update the unlocked doors. Doesn't make any sense because when we start the game, our game instance is empty. But we did save the game. So this means that our game instance will get all the data from the save game anyway. And we also remove picked up items, which is the item identifier. And the item identifier is also something we save. And we save the unlocked doors, we save the locked doors. So everything should be saved. Okay? So let me just close everything here. Let's just leave it. So we do know that the camera is working. Okay, so what we're going to do now, let's just pick something up. Let's get an inventory, let's get a green herb. Let's put it here. So let's just put the green herb here. Okay. Also, what you can do, you can go inside the healing, green herb, materials, green herb. And let's do, let's multiply this by 10, just to see. Yeah. So let's just do 2. Maybe 1.5. Maybe 1.2. Yeah, let's do like so. So it's glowing a little bit. Okay. So then you can see, this is something I can pick up. Sorry for that. Okay, the reason why this is not going to work now is we did save our actor location. Player location, sorry. This is something we need to change as well. So this one, of course, we need to, what did we do? I think it was -100, right? Save game. Sure, sorry, so here, remove save game. Exit. We need to do -100 here. So for the save game, sorry, this is just so confusing. For the save game event here, the save game event, we need to do -100. Compile and save. So we save, then remove the UI, and then we exit. 100. Sorry, 100. Okay, so when we exit, we have 100 units on the Y. So when we save, we also want to have 100 on the Y. And this is being saved in our slot. And then when we load, so in our game instance, we do load already this event, so this is already fired. And this is the reason why it didn't work, because we had 1,000 units here, and of course our character would be outside the room, and then the camera cannot find the character anymore, and she cannot spawn back because she's colliding. Okay, so now the player location is correct. So, of course we need to save the game, because we still have the old save game file, so let me just delete this. Okay, we can just delete this file. And let's just override this. Save. Exit. Now you can see everything's fine. So now, when we go back, so we have a save game file again. We can go back. Okay. And this is correct, because we saved. We saved the game, so when we now restart the game, boom, we are here. We just saved the game. And we do know that this is working. So maybe let's just get this item here. Okay. Let's just save. Now I just want to end the game. Don't mind this, I will explain to you later, don't mind this error. And then I will just press play. And I do have this one. Fix a couple of bugs here now, because you can see the item identifier is not really going to work. Because the item identifier, let's just do a delay of 0.2. Because he's loading everything first here. So yeah, basically in our game instance, we are loading everything. This is what you need to do first. Put everything into our AC and then game instance. And then we load everything from here after this. So, but if he's loading this one first, it's empty. This is the reason. Obviously, I think. And now you can see it's gone. So, now I have 12 bullets. And let me just heal. And I save. Then I exit. Let me just leave the game. Oh, okay, it has something to do with the animation blueprint. This is something, let's do some minor bug fixing in the next episode, okay? This is pretty normal during game development. But let's just get maybe ammunition. Okay, So let's put it here. Like so. Okay. Save everything. Let's get the ammunition. So we did save, right? Now we can see our ammunition. Sorry for that. Let's get the green herb. Now we can reload. Okay, 17, 12, green herb. Can save. Maybe we should also put a delay inside there, so when we save, that we can't. So we need to wait. So we disable the input and have a delay. We can do this as well. Exit. Okay, so let's start. And we have everything again. So let me just restart again. Yeah, so now you can see, so we got rid of this problem. It's just the delay, okay? So I just increased the delay on event begin play and inside the player VP, just a little bit. And then, okay, so let's just take care of this one, the ABP stuff in the next episode. So we do some bug fixing. I will just take care of this, but because now we are so, like this episode is so huge and we did so much, I will just end this episode because it's getting out of hand. But yeah, so far you can see everything's working, and yeah, so basically almost everything is working. This is what I wanted to tell you. So, like so, okay? Of point 1. Then we access our save game, and after that everything gets updated, okay? So, the stuff we picked up is gone, and it's saved. And the player location, so if I shoot, so now I have, let's see, 12 and 12, so I want to save. Then I exit, I can continue, or I can just leave. Then, boom, 12 and 12. Okay, so yeah, the next episode we will just get rid of this stuff. I will just check this one in detail, and yeah, okay, see you in the next one.